Part 38. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 372. Lin Feng said with a relieved smile, "You didn't even call me if you wanted to come over. You actually used your method to open the security door." Hong Ying walked in, her slender legs trembled slightly, and she looked at Lin Feng's face provocatively. "The security door of this house is not burglar-proof at all." Lin Feng said, "Your means are so high, I am afraid it is difficult for a door to block you." "Oh, yes, I am optimistic about the house, and the price has been negotiated. The building area of 318 square meters of duplex buildings, with fine decoration and some furniture, a total of 11 million. "That's right, but the agreement between Ye and you was that you would spend the 10 million yuan she lent you and the more than 2 million yuan in your hand, but you only spent 11 million yuan. Maybe Ye will have an opinion. The other 1 million, I will spend it when I buy furniture and electrical appliances." "I didn't plan to save this money," Lin Feng said. "Why don't you call Ye Zi and explain to her to see what she means? If Ye has an opinion, can't I buy this duplex? This duplex is very good, I'm very satisfied." Lin Feng seemed very excited, and after a while, he calmed down a little. "It's better, I won't explain it to Ye Zi, you explain it to me. You are my lover, you are a hot and powerful woman, and your relationship with Ye Zi is so special, I absolutely believe that you have this ability." Hong Ying loves Lin Feng very much, so she likes to hear Lin Feng praise her very much. She showed a very hot smile, her graceful body swayed for a moment, and then she said, "Okay, then I will give you a call to Ye Zi, but I hope Ye Zi's mood is good enough at the moment, otherwise it will be hard to say. The decisions that Ye makes in a good mood and in a bad mood may be completely different." Hong Ying knows this very well, so she likes Ye in a very good mood at the moment, good enough to dance in only a pair of trousers. Once Ye Zi danced in her private villa with only a pair of trousers and was seen by Hong Ying. That time Hong Ying saw Ye Zi's graceful body dancing hotly, her towering chest trembling slightly. The narrow trousers were slanted to one side, revealing a hint of intoxication. Hong Ying said, "Are you crazy?" Ye said, "I'm not crazy, I'm just in a good mood." Hong Ying said, "I'm in a good mood, so I only wear a pair of trousers to dance." Leaf said, "Yes. It was already 2 years ago, but when Hong Ying thinks about it now, his memory is still fresh. At this time, Ye was playing chess with Sister Wang in her private villa. Most of the conversations were about the recent affairs of Hung Tu Company, and Lin Feng was also mentioned. When Sister Wang heard the name Lin Feng, she became excited. It was as if Lin Feng took off her trousers and forced her to bow to Overlord. "That bastard, don't mention his name in front of me in the future." "Sister Wang, are you a little too excited? What did Lin Feng do to you during that time?" Ye Zi wondered. "If he really forcibly takes you, I will go over and shoot him to death. If you don't feel relieved to just shoot him, then I'll shoot him in the head, then in the chest, and then shoot his thing. He didn't give me that, but he was hateful enough. He even said he wanted to give me panties. His molesting made me very painful," Sister Wang said heartily, "and he even touched my chest. It's just that it's too embarrassing, and I don't want to tell you. Since nothing like that happened, your hatred for him should slowly fade away." Ye Zi's cell phone rang, and when she saw that it was Hong Ying's call, an ambiguous smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. She knew that Hong Ying was with Lin Feng at this time. "Isn't it warm?" Or. At this time, both Lin Feng and Hong Ying had stripped naked, and Hong Ying was snuggling naked in Lin Feng's arms. Ye Zi said, "What's the matter?" "I have something to tell you. Lin Feng has already found a house, a 318 square meter duplex. He is very satisfied with the layout and decoration, and the price has been negotiated. It is 11 million. Hong Ying explained the situation. Ye Zi pondered. He originally wanted that kid Lin Feng to spend more than 12 million yuan, so that he could live in a mansion and also feel the taste of no savings, but he actually had more than 100 left. 10,000. You tell Lin Feng that the remaining more than 1 million must be spent on furniture and appliances, otherwise I will find more ways for him to spend money. Let him spend a lot of money, let him owe more debts, let him. After many years of coding, I suddenly discovered that the debt has not been repaid. Yes, Ideo. I'll tell him. Hong Ying put down the phone and showed a charming smile to Lin Feng, stretched out her arms around Lin Feng's neck, and kissed his face before saying, yeah, said, as long as you use the more than 1 million yuan, there is nothing in the decoration and furniture and electrical appliances, otherwise she will find a few more ways for you to spend money, make you spend a lot of money, make you owe more debts, and make you still a debtor after writing for many years. Just now, Lin Feng wanted Hong Ying to turn on the phone's speaker, so that he could hear what Ye said, but Hong Ying disagreed, but Lin Feng also believed that what Hong Ying told him was what Ye meant. Lin Feng stroked Hong Ying's flat and smooth belly and said with a smile, "Don't worry, I'll do it right." Hong Ying's breathing gradually became faster, and her soft and rosy lips were attached. Lin Feng began to kiss Hong Ying in full swing. At the same time, Lin Feng's hand had risen from Hong Ying's lower abdomen to the part of the high chest, and he was fondling that piece. Elastic and soft. They rolled onto the soft bed together. Lin Feng tore off the clothes from Hong Ying's body. At this time, Hong Ying was only left with a pair of trousers. His tall chest exuded a luster of desire, and his slender legs were very dynamic and powerful, twisting. It will be very exciting to get up. When Lin Feng's hand touched Hong Ying's trousers, Hong Ying grabbed his hand and smiled charmingly, "Don't be too anxious, otherwise you won't be able to last long if you are too impulsive." "No matter how impulsive I am, I will persevere for a long time. You must not doubt my bed skills, because my bed skills are as high as my ground skills." "Really confident?" "If you're not confident, you'll be a fool." "In fact, you are also a very confident woman," Lin Feng said. "If you're not confident, you're not a good bodyguard." Hearing Hong Ying say this, Lin Feng thought of a fact that he was unwilling to accept but had to accept, that is, Hong Ying would leave the city next summer and return to her master in Bangkok, Thailand. This situation is due to the friendship between friends, I told him in advance, but Ye also said at that time, "Can't tell Hong Ying, otherwise it is equivalent to selling her." Lin Feng will not betray Ye, but at this moment my heart is indeed a little uncomfortable. Hong Ying said, "What happened to you?" "It's nothing, it seems like we can start." Lin Feng took off Hong Ying's trousers, first flirted with the wet softness for a moment and broke in. "Take it easy. Do you hurt?" "Oh, it was a little bit earlier, but it's much better now." The words that Hong Ying said while panting were extremely intoxicating. Following Lin Feng's rhythm, Hong Ying's graceful and hot body swayed freely. When the first pleasure hit, Hong Ying shouted in ecstasy, and after a while, he rode on Lin Feng and became a graceful and hot female knight. He quickly whipped his whip, making the sound of popping more intense. After changing several positions in a row, Lin Feng and Hong Ying were both extremely happy. After the enthusiasm, Hong Ying's naked body snuggled into Lin Feng's arms. Lin Feng put one arm around Hong Ying, and the other arm was enough for a cigarette. He lit it in his mouth and exhaled a puff of smoke. "Isn't it particularly beautiful to smoke an afterlife cigarette?" "It's beautiful enough, the key is that you made me too comfortable." Lin Feng was quite proud. "Am I your best lover?" "Definitely," Lin Feng said. Hong Ying chatted with Lin Feng provocatively for a few words, and soon became sad, with tears flashing in his eyes. Lin Feng naturally knew the reason, but he still looked very puzzled and asked her, "What's the matter with you?" "It's nothing, it's just hurting, you bastard," and suddenly I want to cry. Hong Ying's tears reached fullness and flowed out. "You are clearly very comfortable." "It hurts and feels comfortable," Hong Ying said. "Want to spend the night with me?" "No, otherwise Dainan will see me when he comes back. Hong Ying sat up, just sat naked for a while, then lifted up his pants, and quickly put on his clothes again. I'm leaving. Take the IOU, Lin Feng said. Hong Ying didn't say anything. Lin Feng picked up the 10 million IOU and put it in Hong Ying's hand, smiled and said, give this IOU to Ye for me, and then thank her for me. What surprised Lin Feng happened. Hong Ying actually tore the IOU in front of him and threw the pieces into the trash. What do you mean? This is the meaning of Yezi. She asked me to tear up the IOU, she said, she believed in you. She also said that one day, you will definitely be able to pay her 10 million, Hong Ying said. Maybe this will become a driving force for my struggle, but I am really stressed, Lin Feng said. Hong Ying smiled again and left Lin Feng's room, leaving behind a scent and a wet mess on the bed. 2 days later. Today is the day Lin Feng and Mi Yanqing agreed to pay. Lin Feng has already given 100,000 yuan as a deposit in advance. Today, he needs to pay 11.9 million yuan, which is not a small amount. It is necessary to find an acquaintance to be present. If Li Xingguo, the eldest young master of the Jinwu Center, was not injured, Lin Feng would be happy to have Li Xingguo be a witness, but Li Xingguo's arm was still on his shoulders, which was obviously inappropriate. Lin Feng could only look for Yezi and Hong Ying, and neither of them had any objections, so this time Lin Feng didn't have to take a taxi, but sat in Yezi's Porsche Cayenne. There are many luxury cars in Yezi, and the Porsche Cayenne is just one of them, but when Lin Feng, Yezi and Hong Ying got off the car outside the bar in the 1980s, Mi Yanqing was still surprised. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 373. The last time I came here by taxi, I was even late. It can be said that Lin Feng was more embarrassed, but this time it was very dazzling. It turned out to be in a Porsche Cayenne. In particular, the people who followed Lin Feng were a bit too high level. They turned out to be Ye, the daughter of the boss of Hengtu Company, and her personal bodyguard, Hong Ying. The best beauty Mi Yanqing is very arrogant. She has despised many people and ignored many people, but she is definitely not arrogant enough to despise Ye yet. In terms of appearance, Yezi is not inferior to her. In terms of temperament, Yezi is not inferior to her. In terms of social status, Yezi is much higher than her. Mi Yanqing is a bit arrogant. She does have extraordinary talent in landscape painting, but up to now, she is only a well-known painter in Beijing. When people mention her, they talk more about her beauty and temperament, rather than her accomplishments in landscape painting. Could it be that Lin Feng, who is suspected of hanging silk, has a special relationship with Miss Ye? This question is very confusing. This question made it difficult for her to think clearly. Without thinking about the relationship between Lin Feng and Ye, Mi Yanqing walked over with a smile, stretched out her soft hand, and gave Lin Feng a disdainful glance, reminding him with her eyes that you are a bastard. Don't get me wrong, I didn't mean to shake your hand. Naturally, Lin Feng would not reach out at this time, otherwise it would be embarrassing. Yezi stretched out his hand and shook hands with Mi Yanqing. Mi Yanqing said, Yeah, you are here too. Yeah, Lin Feng is my friend. He gave you money today and asked me to be a witness. I told him that the owner of the bar in the 1980s was not only a talented beauty, but also a very credible person. Even if there are no witnesses, there will be no mistake, but he still wants me to come, and I will come. Let's go in, Mi Yanqing said. Very quickly. After Lin Feng paid the money, he got the house purchase contract. The next step is to go through the relevant transfer procedures. He doesn't need to worry too much, he just needs to think about how to use the remaining more than 1 million yuan for furniture and electrical appliances. Lin Feng is very satisfied with some of the existing furniture in this duplex building. Naturally, he has no intention of replacing it. What he needs to do is to add more, and it must be very high-end to spend the remaining more than 1 million yuan. It is very necessary for Lin Feng to invite Ye Ziyi and Hong Ying to have a good meal, but these two beauties have eaten too many delicacies from mountains and seas before. Lin Feng didn't know what kind of food was considered a good thing for them, so he chose a high-end restaurant and sat in an elegant box. After ordering, Lin Feng said, "Ye Ziyi, you and me Yanking are very familiar. I don't know very well, but I know each other. I used to come to the bar in the 1980s to play a few times. She knows who I am, and I also know who she is." Ye Ziyi said, "We drank and touched glasses together, but we didn't. Other friendships." Hong Ying's smile became ambiguous. "Mi Yanking is a very beautiful beauty, her face is so beautiful that people can't believe it, it's not an exaggeration to describe her as Shen Yu Lui and Close Moon Shame Flower, and her figure. She is graceful and full. Has reached a certain level of popularity, and she is very talented. Lin Feng, what do you think of such a superb beauty? She is very good and very characteristic, but how can I feel? After all the formalities are completed, I will have nothing to do with her. The only result is that her luxurious duplex building has changed. It became mine," Lin Feng said. "Have you ever thought about making Mi Yanking yours?" No. Lin Feng really didn't want to make Mi Yanking his, because the possibility is very small. But bizarre things are easy to happen in life, and maybe he will have many stories with Mi Yanking in the future. Ye and Hong Ying went to Hung To Company, and Lin Feng also went to Fengnan Fashion Store. Dinan had already eaten lunch, and there were no customers in the store at this time. She was sitting on the edge of the cash register reading Lin Feng's book on her mobile phone. She had already read the latest chapter of the book. When she saw Lin Feng, the first thing she asked was not about the house, but to urge more. "Your book is very exciting, but the update is a little too slow. When will you break out 36,000 again? For those who like this book, no matter how fast I update, they will feel that it is slow. You also saw that at the time, when I broke 36,000, some people still said that it was a bit slow. Can it be faster? Now you are also one of them." Lin Feng sat beside her and put the house purchase contract and keys on the cashier. "See, the mansion has been handed over, more than 11 million, far more than mine expected, but I liked the house a lot, and if you saw it, you'd like it a lot too. Even if it exceeds your expectations, since you have it, it is yours. I am very happy for you. Let's live there," Lin Feng said. "I do not. If you don't agree to live there, then I won't live there either. Let's continue renting Shang Yunjuan's house," Lin Feng said. "You're really sick. I don't live here because the house is yours and not mine. Why do you have to worry about it? Do you think the master bedroom you live in now will be more comfortable than your mansion? If I only talk about the environment, the master bedroom I live in can't compare with the mansion I just bought, but this master bedroom is closer to you, and I prefer to live near you," Lin Feng said. Dinan was very moved, and tears were about to flow out. This question was a bit tangled for her. She hadn't figured out how to convince Lin Feng. When a customer came in, she quickly stood up and walked over to introduce something to the customer. Looking at Dinan's graceful figure, what flashed in Lin Feng's mind was how he knew Dinan. Dinan brought him a lot of warmth and comfort. Except for not doing that kind of thing with Dinan, everything else has been done. Dinan is his most beautiful beauty, and he really wants his most beautiful beauty to live in a mansion. The customer who came in just now left without shopping. Dinan walked over slowly and said in a low voice, "Lin Feng, go back and code. I want to sit here a little longer." "I understand what you mean, I will consider it, but you can go first," Dinan said. "All right, but you have to think about it seriously. In fact, if you live in the past, It won't have any impact on my life. I'll just treat you as my tenant. When King Zhe comes back, he won't have any opinion. Lin Feng smiled and walked out. Tenant. If he really moved in, is he Lin Feng's tenant? If it was really just his tenant, pay him a certain amount of rent, and then he could live in the mansion. It's a pity that even if she really gave Lin Feng the rent, in Lin Feng's eyes, she would not be a tenant. Lin Feng thinks she is a beauty, and she is very willing to be Lin Feng's beauty, but she doesn't want to add chaos to Lin Feng's life at all. There are a lot of rental houses in Beijing, but duplex buildings like this luxury mansion are generally not rented out. If she lives in it, she will be the most special tenant. Lin Feng returned to the master bedroom and sat on the sofa. When he thought that he would soon leave here and live in a mansion, a light smile appeared on the corners of his mouth. He had never thought of such a turning point before. Who brought it to him? Of course Leaves. Lin Feng didn't dare to think about it anymore, and he didn't know what role the beautiful and rich Miss Ye would play in his life. Thinking of Beauty Bamboo, Lin Feng's heart ached. He wanted to tell her the news of the mansion, but the mobile phone number she used in Beijing was turned off, and he didn't have Beauty Bamboo in Qiushan Town, Shu Province. Other contact information. Could it be that in the days of Qiushan Town in Shu Province, Beauty Bamboo never contacted him? It's very possible, but Lin Feng hopes that it won't be the case. It would be better if the beautiful Bamboo suddenly called him or asked him to have a video chat. Maybe the Beauty Bamboo is dazedly admiring the scenery on the mountain. Maybe the beautiful Bamboo is accompanying her father. Maybe the Beauty Bamboo is standing on the podium in the middle school of Qiushan Town. Lin Feng's imagination is very rich, but he can't imagine what those students will look like when the beautiful Bamboo is standing in the dilapidated classroom. She is an angel. She is the goddess of the world. But Lin Feng prefers the beautiful Bamboo to be his wife. After smoking a cigarette, Lin Feng lay on the bed, fell asleep unconsciously, and had a blurred dream. The beautiful Bamboo appeared in his dream. He saw a bamboo forest and a simple house. He and Beauty Bamboo were sitting on the chair beside the bamboo forest. Beauty Bamboo said to him, "Look how beautiful this place is, but I know you don't like it because it is not as prosperous as Beijing, but I like it very much because it is here. It is the place where I was born and raised. My mother slept here, and my father stayed here. This is where the trajectory of my life began. Later, when I grew up, I went to a wider place and saw a lot of things I imagined. The prosperity that cannot be reached, and with good friends like you, but no matter how big the world is, you have to go home." He said, "I like Beijing, and I like it here, but Beijing is more suitable for us to live there." Beauty Bamboo said that the air here is fresher. He said that when people choose a living environment, they generally do not take the freshness of the air as a standard. Otherwise, all people will go to the mountains. Where the mountains are high, and where there are many trees, there will be more people. The fresh air will not continue to be fresh, the mountains may no longer be high, the trees may not be many, people are chasing everywhere, and the birds have nowhere to fly. The dream changed. Lin Feng took Beauty Bamboo's hand and walked into the bamboo forest. He took off Beauty Bamboo's clothes and took off Beauty Bamboo's trousers. He saw the moist softness of Beauty Bamboo. To break into the body of beautiful Bamboo. Beauty Bamboo let out an intoxicated cry in shyness, and when the pleasure hit, Beauty Bamboo's arms wrapped tightly around his waist. When the phone rang, Lin Feng was a little annoyed and wanted to let the dream last, and wanted to savor every detail of his physical attack on the beautiful Bamboo in the dream, but he woke up. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 374. Grabbing the phone and seeing that it was Wang Wei, a female college classmate, Lin Feng was not so annoyed at once. With a relieved smile, he continued, "Xiao Wei, it's you, you didn't go to work in the afternoon. I'm depressed, so I asked for leave. I really want to have a few drinks with you. You don't have time again, right? If you still don't have time this time, then I won't make you a friend. Just when we didn't have time in college. Once in a class, it's like we've never played together, and we've never known each other. Don't be so excited, if it develops to such a bad level, didn't I touch you in vain before? Come here when you have time this time," Lin Feng said. "Why are your bastard's words so irritating? I'm so depressed, you don't say anything to comfort me, you just say things that make me angry. I don't even know why you are depressed, how to comfort you. Even if I am a famous doctor, I have to prescribe the right medicine. You tell me what's wrong with you first, and then I will comfort you," Lin Feng said. "I'll tell you when I get there." Wang Wei was a bit mysterious, and Lin Feng did not continue to ask. When Wang Wei came, he would naturally know what he should know. An hour later, Wang Wei arrived, with a half-sleeved shirt and a denim skirt and no stockings. Her slender and fair calves were exposed, and a pair of very simple sandals on her feet. The beauty was full of style, and the style was full of fresh breath. "Came to enjoy. You kid, don't look at me with this kind of aesthetic vision. I'm a little scared, and I don't dare to go to your partition room." "You are wrong. Actually, you know that I am not living in a partition room, but the master bedroom. Although the master bedroom and the partition room are connected together, they are still slightly different." Lin Feng lit a cigarette, very chic. He let out a breath of smoke. "If I hadn't hurt your self-esteem just now, you wouldn't be pretending to be chic by smoking. I'm really sorry. I haven't seen you for a while, and I hurt your self-esteem as soon as we met." Wang Wei showed a bright smile. "I'm a person with self-esteem, but my self-esteem is not so easily hurt, and you definitely didn't hurt my self-esteem just now. We are all so familiar with each other. So no matter what you say, no matter what, it's not easy to hurt my self-esteem." Lin Fengzin said, "If you know that I am already a man who bought a mansion, you will be surprised that a mansion with a construction area of 318 square meters has been obtained." Just today, Lin Feng really wanted to squeak in front of her beautiful classmate Wang Wei. If Wang Wei looked at him with admiration, he would be very happy. "It stinks." Wang Wei immediately covered her nose and quickened her pace, and Lin Feng's pace also quickened. "This very pungent odor comes from the waste bin, like the smell of spoiled watermelon rind. This community is very dilapidated, and there are always various kinds of odors coming from the waste bin in this community. Sometimes it even makes people feel uncomfortable. Unbelievable taste. Waste sorting is done badly in this neighborhood. The watermelon rind and the cans are together, and the bioon sleeve is together with the old battery. Lin Feng has lived here for a long time, so he is used to it." At the same time, Lin Feng also thought that when he lived in a place that was considered a high-end residential area in the whole of Beijing, in this spacious and atmospheric environment, he would not smell this odor often. The greenery there is very good and it is very clean. There are rockery fountains there are activity centers. Perhaps there are many beautiful women living in that high-end community. Walking on the road in the community, he can smell all kinds of intoxicating aromas and appreciate different styles of and beautiful legs. When they arrived at the master bedroom together, Wang Wei sat down on the sofa and threw the satchel aside. She said softly, "Hurry up and make me some tea." "Hold on." Lin Feng's movements were very neat. After a while, he made tea and brought it over. He smiled and said, "Your sitting position is a bit incorrect. I just saw your..." Don't wait for Lin Feng to finish speaking. Wang Wei's slender legs were pulled to one side, and she glanced at him. Lin Feng sat next to Wang Wei and smiled, You were a little slow just now, I still see it. You are wearing black pants, the black color forms a strong contrast with your fair legs. It is easy to arouse the strong desire of a man. For example, my current desire is seduced by you. What do you want? Hold you, touch you. Lin Feng really took Wang Wei into his arms, his hand fell on Wang Wei's full chest through the half-sleeve shirt, and kneaded gently. Oh! You bastard! Since graduation, you have become more and more fond of eating my tofu, and now it has become even more serious. Do you want me to break up with you? Wang Wei's angry look is very cute, but her attitude is indeed a bit fierce. If you offend her, it will be very emotional after all. Lin Feng's hand bounces off, which is somewhat embarrassing. I'm leaving. Wang Weixin said, I was really depressed. I used to pay attention to my sitting posture when wearing a skirt. What happened today? Are you in a bad mood and have to expose your pants to Lin Feng? Don't you want me to accompany you for a few drinks? Just leave, aren't you too tired? Lin Feng said. What can I do when I'm tired? It's better than staying and letting you eat tofu. Wang Wei walked towards the door. Don't leave, it was my fault just now, so I pretended that I didn't see anything. Just stay and have a few drinks, I promise not to touch your hand. Lin Feng said. You ignore me? You clearly saw my panties, but you didn't even see anything. Wang Wei turned around beautifully, showing a bit of charm in her anger. I saw it just now, and I was also stimulated by your graceful hotness. It is your right to sway the style, and it is also my right to accept the stimulation. However, I can guarantee that from now until you leave, I will never eat you at all. Tofu, don't even touch your hands. Really? Wang Wei said. Lin Feng nodded. Wang Wei came over and sat beside him again, holding her chin with her left hand, tilted her head and started to be in a daze. Lin Feng said, Who made you so crazy? Did you find the fifth Diamond King, very rich and handsome? Wang Wei sighed lightly, I didn't have that fate. I arrived in Beijing before I defended my thesis, which is definitely a step ahead of you, but I've been in here, and it can be said that nothing has been accomplished. As for my career, I have to work for others. Not even a deputy supervisor, the salary is very ordinary, and love, let alone Diamond Wang Lao. I have not even met Diamond Wang Lao's younger brother, Diamond Wang Lao Lu. I think I am also a beautiful woman with education. Why is it so sad? At least you have no debt now, because the money you owe me has been repaid, and you don't owe anyone else's money anymore. The more important point is that you no longer place your hope of making a fortune on stock trading. Warrants it has not been touched in a long time. You are angry, Wang Wei said angrily. I'm telling the truth, you have to be angry, I can't do anything about it, just look at it, let alone our classmates, even among all the people around, how many have encountered the fifth king of diamonds? Most people you haven't lived an ordinary life yet, but in fact, your vision is still a little too high, so you miss a lot of potential stocks that were originally excellent. You met someone you didn't expect. Although that person is not from our class, she is from one of our academies. You must have an impression of her, Wang Wei said. Who? Lu Wei. It turned out that it was Lu Wei, who had the same name as Wang Wei and a different surname. Lin Feng was indeed very surprised. If Wang Wei was talking about a girl who was quite beautiful among her college classmates, Lin Feng might not be so surprised, because she was beautiful. Girls are more likely to be favored by men, but it was Lu Wei, which surprised Lin Feng and almost couldn't believe it. The height is less than 160 centimeters, the weight is over 130 jin, the face is very ordinary, and the body is very bloated. No matter how others hurt her, she is not angry and looks like she is heartless. Lu Wei has many nicknames, among which the loudest ones are Lu Xiaopang and Lu Fantung. Some people call her Lu Fantung in front of Lu Wei, which is very harsh, but Lu Wei is not only not angry, but also will sweetly agree, I am afraid that what she thought at the time was, I just love to eat, what can you do to me? In fact, Lin Feng has no friendship with Lu Wei. Every time they meet on the road, Lu Wei takes the initiative to say hello to him. Then he prefers to call Lu Wei Lu Xiaopang, or omit Lu and directly call her Xiaopang. According to the current standards, a girl like Lu Wei should be a typical short and ugly. Lin Feng said, "What do you mean? Lu Wei met the fifth Diamond King. Not only did I meet, but I got married, and I paid 500 yuan as a gift, during the time you disappeared," Wang Wei said. Lin Feng now understands when he lived a very fragrant and special life in Ye Zi's private villa, Wang Wei was anxious to see him, just to talk about Lu Wei. Lin Feng said with a relieved smile, "You and Lu Xiaopang are very good friends. When we were in college, we often ate together, went to self-study, and went shopping together. Some people even called you two Shuangwei around, and said that one of the Shuangweis was Qiao. Beautiful and graceful, there is another Wei who is short, fat, and bloated. As Lu Wei's good friend, even if she meets the fifth Diamond King, you shouldn't be jealous of her. It's not jealousy, it's envy. While blessing Lu Xiaopang, I also envy her very much. I'm going crazy with envy. I already have the heart to hit the wall with my head. In fact, when I first heard the news, I really hit the wall with my head. Yes, but it was just a simple bump twice, and my head didn't lift. How high is the rank of the fifth Diamond King, makes you envy you like this," Lin Feng said. Shen Zheng is the owner of a small home appliance factory. He is a son of his father's business, but he is indeed a big boss. He has talents and diplomas, and has a wealth of over 100 million. He is also very handsome. I really don't understand, the height of 180, how did the handsome man fall in love with Lu Xiaopang? To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 375. Actually, Lu Xiaopang's biggest strength is that she has a very good character. Maybe that Diamond Wang Lao just depends on her character. Sometimes, men not only value a woman's appearance, but also a woman's character. Do you still remember the unmatched and eye-catching couple in our school? The man is about the same size as me, and his face is more handsome than me, but he is definitely not as good as me, and the woman is only 160, thin and ugly. Laugh. The couple did not separate until graduation. It is said that they stayed in Yanzhou and then got married. This is how men and women are, so it's okay to see the right eye, Lin Feng said. Among the two wives, the fat and ugly Lu Wei has already entered the palace of marriage with the Diamond Wang Lao, but the beautiful and graceful Wang Wei is still single, getting old a little bit, looking for a relationship with her. Waiting is wasting youth. Wang Wei was very disappointed. If there is no beautiful bamboo in Lin Feng's life, he is very likely to say to Wang Wei at this moment, "If you are really depressed, then be my girlfriend, although I have not yet reached the level of the fifth Diamond King, but I will in the future. It is very likely that I will become the fifth Diamond King. Even if I can earn more than 30,000 yuan a month now, in winter or next year, my monthly salary may exceed 50,000 yuan, which is not too low." But now the situation is different. The beautiful bamboo has appeared in his life. Lin Feng can't say such words to Wang Wei easily. He can eat some tofu, but he can't talk nonsense. "Lin Feng, when are you going to buy a house in Beijing? You have a good income now, and you have a deposit, and the house price will get higher and higher. You might as well start it early." "I have already bought it," Lin Feng said. "I'm in a bad mood today. I don't want to joke, and I don't want you to joke with me. If you continue to speak beyond words, I will despise you." "It's not a joke, it's true," Lin Feng said. "No way. What kind of house and location did you buy? How big is the square meter?" Wang Wei was excited. You wait. Lin Feng came over with the house purchase contract. Wang Wei opened it, and immediately became dizzy. Are you sure you read it right? Wang Wei was a little suspicious of the eyesight of her eyes, and she looked at it again. It was true, and she screamed, 318 square meters of duplex building. 11 million. My God, Lin Feng, you are too strong. You are too strong. Where did you get so much money? Did you earn tens of millions in royalties in such a short period of time? Borrowed. Lin Feng didn't plan to make up hype to deceive Wang Wei, lest Wang Wei worry about him. Borrowed? Who borrowed it from? A very rich eldest lady. Oh, let me tell you. I borrowed it from Yeching Chen, the daughter of Yeching Chen, the owner of Hengtu Company. Lin Feng said. I rely on. Wang Wei couldn't believe all this, but it was right in front of her eyes. She said, Yaya is so good to you. How dare she give you so much money? Yaya is really good to me, so good that even I am surprised. The reason why she dares to lend me so much money is not because of too much money, but because she believes that I will definitely be able to pay her back. Seeing the world is wider than us, I must be very accurate to see people. I guess Yaya has already seen it, and in the near future, I will be a very rich person. Lin Feng said. Can you come up with a reasonable explanation? Why is Yaya so good to you? I think Yaya should hate you even more and fix you every once in a while. If I can give a reasonable explanation, I don't need to be so surprised. Maybe it's because of my kung fu that she admires. Maybe it's because of my literary talent that she admires, or for other reasons. Why don't you go to my duplex? Take a look at the building, and then I will invite you to drink. Lin Feng said. Okay. Wang Wei is very interested to see how high-end Lin Feng's 318 square meter duplex building is. Wang Wei has never seen such a large area before. So it's kind of unimaginable. After walking out of the community together, Lin Feng stopped a taxi and sat in the back row with Wang Wei, all the way. Lin Feng's blood was boiling, but Wang Wei's eyes were a little dull. The situation and mood at this time were all they did not expect in college. When I was in college, I thought more about whether the teacher would call names, who might get together with whom, where to go to play cheap and affordable, and what kind of clothes to buy to show the grade without affecting the living expenses. When she arrived at this high-end community, before she walked in, Wang Wei was attracted by the shape of the gate of the community. It was very fashionable and profound. When she saw the gate, she would think that this community was populated by people with money and status. Let's go in, Lin Feng said. Oh. Wang Wei walked into this spacious and atmospheric community with Lin Feng's footsteps. The high-end buildings are neatly arranged, the road is very wide, there are rockeries, fountains, and many trees, and the view is very wide. It's a wonderful enjoyment. Soon I will be able to see Lin Feng's duplex building, but Wang Wei still can't believe it's true. Lin Feng already has a 318 square meter duplex building in Beijing. Lin Feng opened the door and walked in with Wang Wei. The beauty queen Wei immediately became a little dizzy, and several wows in a row were not enough to describe how shocked she was. Lin Feng, isn't your duplex a bit too luxurious? I've never seen such a luxurious house before. What would it feel like to live in such a luxurious duplex? Wang Wei is so envious. Her expression is a bit exaggerated. First, she envy Lu Xiaopang for marrying the fifth Diamond King, and now she envy Lin Feng for having a luxurious and dizzying duplex building. I wonder if Wang Wei will go crazy. Women attach great importance to houses and cars, and Wang Wei's hopes for this duplex building can be imagined. Lin Feng said, more than 11 million, it is normal to be luxurious. If it is a big villa of the top rich, it will be even more luxurious. In fact, compared with those big villas, my duplex is nothing. There are always better ones. There is always something worse. Just relax. After staying in the living room for more than half an hour, Wang Wei was still reluctant to leave. She admired every corner very carefully, and at the same time she was also fantasizing, if this duplex was hers, how wonderful it would be. At the same time, she also thought that if she married Lin Feng, she could live in this duplex with Lin Feng. When they reached the second floor together, Lin Feng opened the door of the master bedroom and walked in with Wang Wei. What a big bed! Wang Wei walked over with graceful steps, and jumped onto the bed, her denim skirt turned up, and her slender legs and trousers were again exposed in front of Lin Feng. Lin Feng once again appreciated the hot spring light that could stimulate his sensitive nerves, and Wang Wei also realized that it had disappeared again, and she sat up and said softly, "I'm sorry, I seem to be a little rude, I made you laugh." "Who are we and who, do you think I will laugh at you?" Lin Fengzin said, "as long as you don't take off your pants in front of me, it's not a big problem." Unknowingly, more than an hour passed. Lin Feng took Wang Wei to visit every room of the duplex building. Wonderful fantasies were always rippling in Wang Wei's heart. She was very impulsive and wanted to do something for her future. "I invite you to dinner, what do you want to eat?" "It's good," Wang Wei said. "How about $1,000 meal? Anyway, you are richer than me now. Although you owe Miss Yezi 10 million, you have an extra 318 square meter duplex building in your hands. If you want to get mad, I won't stop you." Wang Wixin said, "When I was in college, I really didn't expect you to be so powerful. When you arrived in Beijing, you started to surprise me again and again. I suddenly found out that you are the most capable and most talented of all our classmates. Personality person, as your good friend, I no longer simply admire you, even a little admiration. There are many high-end hotels and restaurants nearby. There are only 3 super 5-star and 5-star hotels. There are many large shopping malls and large supermarkets. You can find almost all luxury brands of international brands. If you want to spend money, you can. It is not a problem to spend hundreds of thousands or even millions a day shopping nearby. It can be seen that there are indeed many wealthy people living in several high-end neighborhoods nearby, and their spending power is very strong. Although Lin Feng can live here in the future, his own spending power is still very limited. There are many things he can't afford, and the reality does not allow him to waste it aimlessly. He knows very well that he still has a long way to go. Long. Lin Feng took Wang Wei to a high-end restaurant and sat in a luxurious box. The pretty waitress put the menu on the table and said sweetly, "I'm very happy to serve the two of you, please order." Sure enough, it is high-end, and even the appearance and attitude of the waitresses are obviously different. When the menu was in Wang Wei's hands, she looked at it carefully and wanted to order 2 decent dishes in front of Lin Feng. After watching for more than 10 minutes, Wang Wei finally ordered 2 dishes, one is the restaurant's special dish, and the other is seafood, each of which is more than 100 yuan. Lin Feng added 3 more dishes, and then asked for a bottle of Hung Hualan. The waitress went out, and Lin Feng lit a cigarette. Looking at Wang Wei's face through the smoke, he was surprised to find, Wang Wei is somewhat emotional. Her face was emotional. Her eyes were emotional. Her body must be wet. It seems that Wang Wei has been stimulated too much today, and Lin Feng doesn't even know whether it is a good thing or a bad thing for Wang Wei that he is so shy, and is it a good thing or a bad thing for his relationship with Wang Wei. But he already owns this duplex building. No matter how many years he lives in Beijing in the future, this will be his home. Even if he has a bigger and more luxurious residence in the future, it will also be his real estate. To let Wang Wei know, this will happen sooner or later. Wang Wei said, "Do you still remember the past?" Lin Feng said, "What exactly do you mean?" Wang Wei said, "All. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 376. Lin Feng said, I remember all those things about going to college. You told me before that you have a nostalgic complex. In fact, I have it too. The monitor didn't do well, so I didn't organize a class reunion. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to show off my wealth. But when there is a suitable time in the future, I plan to go to Yanzhou and take a look at our school. I also remember everything that happened after I arrived in Beijing after graduation. You have given me a lot of help and encouragement, and you have also given me a lot of encouragement. A lot of warmth, thank you. Wang Wei said, we have been friends for so many years, you don't need to say thank you to me, I helped you, but you also helped me, to be honest, when you were very down in the industry, I pity you, I also made fun of you in my heart, and even thought that you were not doing the right thing. At that time, when I heard you say that code words change the future, I even despised you a little bit, thinking that you are an ignorant guy, that you can't see the future clearly, so there will be no future. But gradually, your book improved, and I began to look at you from a different perspective. At that time, I thought that maybe you can really succeed. Although I don't know the field you are engaged in, I realized this, and now it seems that you are much more powerful than I thought. The beautiful classmate gave him such a high evaluation, even if Lin Feng didn't want to float, it would be difficult. Lin Feng relit a cigarette and let the smoke diffuse freely. He liked looking at Wang Wei's face in the smoke, he smiled and said, my ground kung fu is very good, my bed kung fu is very good, and my coding skills are also very good, so it is normal that I am more powerful than you think. This is a serious tease. Inadvertently, Lin Feng teased Wang Wei. Perhaps his teasing had made Wang Wei's body moist like a springtide. It goes without saying that Lin Feng's kung fu on the ground is not stressful. He is a very authentic kung fu master. The power of the dragon and snake legs is very powerful. Lin Feng combines the classic moves of the dragon and snake legs with Sanda, which makes it even more powerful. He is a relatively low-key master, he can burst out unbelievable energy at any time. Ye was shocked by him. Hong Ying was shocked by him, and even the beauty and hero of the underground world, Black Rose, was shocked by him. Wang Wei knows this very well, but Wang Wei doesn't understand Lin Feng's bed skills. When she used to play ambiguous in special situations, she even used her mouth to give Lin Feng that, and she was very wet at the time. Lin Feng was also very wet, but the two fiery bodies did not merge into one and became warm. Wang Wei naturally didn't know how Lin Feng broke into her body and how she would feel, and she didn't know how Lin Feng was on the bed. What is the realm of Kung Fu? After letting Lin Feng tease, Wang Wei was not angry. He also said with interest, how good is your bed skills? You have indeed slept with a few women before. How do they evaluate you? Wang Wei suddenly chatted with him about this ambiguous and moist topic. Lin Feng was quite surprised. Perhaps it was his words that stimulated Wang Wei, so she started chatting casually. Wang Wei was stimulated enough today, and Lin Feng didn't want her to be stimulated even more, so he smiled and said, stop talking about this. I was bragging just now. Why don't you dare to chat? It's estimated that you haven't even had 5 minutes at a time. The woman you've been with before is probably very disappointed and ridiculed you. Since you can't do it a few times, don't mess around. The beautiful classmates even used the spelling, which made Lin Feng's blood boil even more. In fact, he was also very depressed, and he was very good in bed. It can always make the women who are with him fluttering, but Wang Wei suspects that he can't get it right. He knew that Wang Wei said this on purpose, and it was considered an anti-provocation, but he was still a little depressed. Of course Lin Feng wouldn't pick up Wang Wei and put it on the dining table, then pull off her and get them up. First, he couldn't mess with Wang Wei casually, and secondly, if he did it like this, he would be scared to death when the waiter came to deliver the dishes. There may be people who call the police. At least the security guard will come over, and then they will rudely stop him and Wang Wei from messing around. If the quality of the security guard is not high enough, there will be a fight, and then he will call the police here. The security slapped him hard. In the past, Lin Feng thought of when he read "Bow your head to make lotus seeds," and the lotus seeds are as clear as water. He bowed his head to make beautiful women, and beautiful women screamed. He didn't think he was vulgar, because many elegant people can make them, and they can cry and sing. The bel canto has called the bed, the opera singer has called the bed, the professor has called the bed, the expert has called the bed. Perhaps the most unbearable ecstasy cry in the world is made by a very elegant woman. The woman's face is very white, the woman's fungus is very dark, the woman's mood is very high, and the woman's essence is very hot. Wang Wei's fungus is not black, and Wang Wei is not hot. Sometimes she is charming, sometimes a lady. She has always been very serious. Lin Feng felt that he couldn't get Wang Wei casually, and he couldn't let Wang Wei scream, because the beautiful bamboo has already appeared in his life, because Wang Wei is not a woman he can ignore after he gets it. Beauty bamboo ignited his desire for a new love, a new passion, and a new life. If he had to choose between beauty bamboo and Wang Wei, he would definitely choose beauty bamboo. Did I talk about your pain point? If you really can't do that, go to the hospital as soon as possible, so as not to get married later. Your wife will cheat on you. Xiao Yi, you. What happened to me? Let's put it this way, my ability is so powerful that I can satisfy more than 3 women in one night, Lin Feng said. Blow you, Wang Wei's eyes and tone were full of provocation. When Lin Feng wanted to say something again, the waitress came in to deliver the dishes. He glanced at Wang Wei's face helplessly and then looked at the dishes. The wine and vegetables were all ready, and it was said to be full of color, flavor, and taste. Wang Wei's appetite came, and after saying that I would eat something first, I grabbed the chopsticks, took a bite of the food, and ate it in my mouth. Dinan's way of eating is cute. Bamboo is cute when she eats. Wang Wei's way of eating is also cute. Lin Feng really wanted these beauties to eat, bite, and together, so that the functions of rosy lips and fragrant tongue could be fully exerted. If you have talent, show it to your heart's content. Lin Feng poured wine into the wine glass and smiled. Xiao Yi, touch one. I wish you meet the person you like soon. In fact, it doesn't have to be the 5th Diamond King. Find a qualification and diploma equivalent, and live an ordinary life. It's good to make money, pay off the mortgage, and raise children together. Most people's happiness comes from ordinary people. You see those people who pick up and drop off children from kindergartens, most of them are ordinary people, but their smiles are very bright. The little angel makes them smile. And life also makes them smile. Wang Wei said, I admire the level of your speech more and more. Sometimes I will have an illusion when I listen to you, and a person as skilled as you will never be a hooligan. Even in the face of his wife, he may be shy, say, I don't dare to mess with you, just lift up your pants. But sometimes when I listen to you, I feel that you are very rogue, as if any problem can be solved with your thing. If you're unhappy personally, you can also make that thing of you go across the ocean and give the unhappy guy a hard knock on the head to let him know that making you unhappy will pay a price. But what I want to say is that, everyone has only one lifetime. Ordinary life is a lifetime, brilliant is also a lifetime. For a woman, it is not necessarily a celebrity to be called brilliant. In fact, living a rich life is a kind of brilliant. I think my personal conditions are okay, so I thought about it. Be smart. Ordinary can also be unrestrained. Ordinary is a kind of brilliance. Also, what I want to emphasize is that my thing does not have the ability to cross the ocean alone. It has always been, wherever I go, my thing will arrive. Where, I haven't even been on a plane before, so my thing has never been on a plane. Okay, I don't want to talk about that thing about you now, let's hide that thing quietly in your pants. Let me ask you, Why are you typing so carefully? Wang Wei said. Men are different from women. You can think I'm a little macho, but you also have to admit that men have a greater responsibility in society. A man has a responsibility to make his parents live a good life, and a man has a responsibility to make his women live a good life. Of course, men also have the responsibility to pay taxes to the country. I am a taxpayer, I am proud. Lin Feng was simply humorous. Wang Wei smiled happily, her eyes were emitting a blurred light, and her full chest was gently rippling. After clinking glasses again, Wang Wei said, "Do you remember? I used my mouth to give you that before, and I don't know what happened to me at the time, but I actually gave you that with my mouth. That time, you boy, are you cool? It's very comfortable. Oh, since you met me that time, my thing, you shouldn't doubt my bed skills. Largeness and durability are two different things. It's like a big guy might be knocked down by a small guy with one punch. Oh, as I said just now, let that thing of yours be quietly hidden in your trousers, and don't talk about that," Wang Wei said. "That's true, but my one, forget it, let's not talk about this. Oh, you've been doing well at work recently, right? It's okay, I do the same thing every day, and I see similar people every day. Our company's treatment is okay, and the benefits are okay, so the job hopping situation is not so frequent, and some people are almost 10 years old. Still working there. That's good, stability is not bad for anyone. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my greatest power. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 377. Lin Feng was a little embarrassed. He clearly felt that Wang Wei was emotional. If he hadn't been continuously and strongly stimulated, with Wang Wei's style and mood, he would not easily be emotional to his good friend, because Wang Wei thought that he would be emotional at will. It will destroy the friendship. For her, friendship is indispensable, even if it is from a man. But the problem is that Wang Wei first let Lu Xiaopang stimulate the tenderness on the outside and tenderness on the inside, and then let his mansion stimulate tenderness on the inside and tenderness on the outside. Now Wang Wei can eat it after taking off her clothes, which is sweet and delicious. If he wanted to give Wang Wei at this time, it would be very easy to succeed, but to do so was to take advantage of others' danger, and sometimes the strong envy of others would be more uncomfortable than being beaten. What Wang Wei needs most at this time is calm, but it is difficult for her to calm down, and maybe she will not be calm in the next few months. When Lin Feng and Wang Wei came out of the restaurant, the sky was gloomy and it might rain at any time. Wang Wei's wine taste is very strong, and her hot body exudes a smell of wine. She looks up at the sky and smiles. If it rains, will there be thunder? Lin Feng said, today's rain may really come, but there will be no thunder, because if there is thunder, it will already hit. The clouds are so dense, the clouds that should meet have already met, and today's clouds are good friends with each other, get together, just shake hands and not do anything enthusiastic, so there will be no flash or thunder. Will the rain come? The rain may come, Xiaoyu is not the same thing as flashing and thundering, Lin Feng said. How does rain come about? These good friends are drooling over the food together, and it will rain when all the drool gathers together, Lin Feng said. I think it won't rain if it's not warm. If it hasn't rained yet, it means it's not warm enough. When it rains, it will be warm. It's not like that, Lin Feng said. That's right. Wang Wei's hips twisted a lot, but her slender legs took very small steps. Wang Wei walked into the high-end community with Lin Feng's footsteps. The bustling side of the city was displayed in front of her, and it had a greater impact than a large shopping plaza or a high-end entertainment place. Everything in this community has a strong attraction for Wang Wei, not to mention the rockery fountain and the large flower pond. Even the waste bins are so characteristic. Because they are very high-end communities, the waste bins placed here are different from other communities. The same thing is that they are all used for waste. Wang Wei's eyes were blurred. She looked at the neatly arranged buildings, and said with a smile, "It's so nice here, the people who live here are so happy. Although you have borrowed 10 million from Yezio, you have the ability to buy a house here. But you can live here in the future, and you will live here for a lifetime." Lin Feng said, "It is estimated that I will live here for a long time, but it may not be a lifetime. Maybe I will have a more luxurious residence in the future, such as a large villa with more than 800 square meters." Wang Wei said, "You always say that ordinary is true. Ordinary is happiness, but your heart is very wild." Lin Feng said, "First of all, I admitted that life is ordinary, and then I was a little bit more ordinary." Wang Wei said, "I understand you more and more. In fact, I didn't understand you very well when I was in college. At that time, I just thought it was very fun to play with you. I felt that you can't do anything except play, and you often skip classes. I rarely go to self-study. I even thought at the time that you would not be a rich man when you entered the society, and I also thought that you would not be able to make much money, and even thought that if I made money, and you asked me to borrow money, I would ridicule you first and then borrow it. Here you are. If this happens, I will definitely be very proud. I will look at you with the eyes of a savior who sees all beings, but you have made money, you have a mansion, you can see with the eyes of a savior of all beings. I'm here, in front of you. I'm so helpless, I need someone to take care of me, so take care of me. How do you want me to take care of you?" "Like a husband taking care of his wife," Wang Wei said. "The husband will take off his wife's panties." "Then take off my pants," Wang Wei said. "Xiao Yi, you are crazy." "Just think I'm crazy," Wang Wei said. They went to Lin Feng's duplex building together. As the smell of alcohol diffused, Wang Wei swayed and said softly, "I'm tired. I want to lie down in the bedroom upstairs for a while." Lin Feng said, "There is a bed but no quilt." Wang Wei said, "The mattress is very high-end, and it will definitely be very comfortable, even if you don't need a futon." The alcohol was stimulating the hot bodies of the two, and Wang Wei's state of mind was extremely special. In this case, it was easy for a gun to go off in the bedroom, so Lin Feng didn't want Wang Wei to lie on the bed in the bedroom, but if he didn't agree, it will anger Wang Wei. Wang Wei's mood is already very unstable, and it may break out at any time. Lin Feng believes that if Wang Wei breaks out this time, he will be hysterical to the point that he can't believe it. Lin Feng and Wang Wei went to the second floor together. Wang Wei asked Lin Feng to open the master bedroom, and Lin Feng opened the master bedroom. It is very spacious, with floor-to-ceiling glass windows, beautifully colored curtains, and a big soft bed right in front of her. Wang Wei jumps up and down again, and her posture is a bit too casual, although the denim skirt is only turned up a little. But Lin Feng still saw Wang Wei's pants again. The slender legs are beautiful, the skin is delicate, and the outline of the pant is very hot. Wang Wei has said before that she is still a first daughter, and Lin Feng believes that Wang Wei is still a first daughter at this time. "Lin Feng, sit down." "I'm smoking, I'm afraid it will smoke you," Lin Feng said. "You don't hate it, you used to smoke beside me before, and even deliberately spit the smoke into my face. Once your kid actually spit the smoke into my neckline very evilly, and let me smoke lingers on the baby's chest, and now you are afraid of smoking me. If you're not afraid, I'm even less afraid," Lin Feng said to himself. "I used to be not afraid to be ambiguous with you, but I am very afraid of being ambiguous with you at the moment. I used to really miss you, but now I don't want to." Lin Feng sat next to Wang Wei. He smiled and said, "Why don't you sleep? When you wake up, the alcohol will be over. Jijin is easy to pass, but I'm afraid my depression won't pass for a long time. Let me ask you a question. Ask it. Lin Feng was very worried that Wang Wei would ask questions that would be difficult for him to answer. His resilience was quite good, and he had encountered embarrassing situations many times before, and maybe he would be embarrassed after a while. You said that if a woman is still a first girl at my age, is it a disaster? Damn it, how old do you think you are? How many years do you have to be 30 years old? It's a beautiful thing that you are a first daughter, and it can even become a kind of capital for you. How could it be a disaster? There are many. The woman thought she was the first daughter, but it is no longer, even if the film is repaired, Lin Feng said. Then how many more years do you think it's more appropriate for me to be a first-year girl? Wang Wei's question made Lin Feng not only embarrassed but also embarrassed. Fate, when the man whose fate with you is deep enough to get your first daughter's body appears, you will be gone, Lin Feng said. I don't want to be my first daughter now. Do you have the courage to accept my first daughter? Wang Wei said. If the beautiful classmate asked him this question before the beautiful bamboo appeared, he would find a microphone. Even if there was no one around, he would quickly go out to buy a microphone and shout into the microphone, I have the courage. Then put on a cool look to Wang Wei. But now, the beautiful bamboo has existed in his life, igniting the flame of his longing for love again. He is like a moth and an eagle, he is flying and flying, so he has no courage to accept Wang Wei's first female body. Lin Feng knew very well that Wang Wei wanted to give him her first daughter in this luxurious bedroom because she wanted to be his girlfriend. He also believed that if he and Wang Wei did it now, then Wang Wei would marry him. He would soon marry him. Just a man with a wife. Although the beautiful bamboo man is in Qiaoshan town, Shu province, her figure has been flashing in Lin Feng's mind, with a delicate and pure face, a sweet smile, eyes like spring water, a towering chest, and slender legs. She is the school flower of Beijing Normal University, and she is a girl who is pure enough to wash people's hearts. Lin Feng was a little flustered. He lit a cigarette again, and spit out a puff of smoke at Wang Wei, pretending to be unrestrained. What, I think you are drinking too much, go to sleep. Wang Wei got excited, and immediately sat up, looked at Lin Feng coldly, and said angrily, good boy, you are so mocking me. What you said just now was more joking than washing and sleeping. Could it be that the friendship between the two of us has changed so many years ago? Is it shit? Friendship is friendship, love is love, and good friends can't easily take off their pants. These are your original words. If I tell you, I don't want to just be friends with you now, I want to be your girlfriend, I can get the certificate with you in minutes. If you want, I will let my parents express the account book tomorrow. You agree, is it? Wang Wei said. Disagree. Do you think that you can earn more than 30,000 yuan a month in manuscript fees now, and my monthly salary and taxes are less than 10,000 yuan, so I'm not worthy of you, Wang Wei said. It's not, let's say it clearly, if there is no green bamboo, I would very much like to make you my girlfriend, but now the situation is different. Qingzu has appeared, and I love her very much. You really thought you could get together with Tian Qingzu, but in fact, the two of you are very incompatible. Love really can make a shrewd person become a fool. You can make love a fool now, Wang Wei said. Whatever you think, in short, I will wait for Qingzu to come back and give me an answer. I'm sorry, I let you down. Lin Feng couldn't bear to say such cruel words to Wang Wei, but he had no other way. Wang Wei sat cross-legged on the bed, her beautiful face showing a bit of sturdiness, and said coldly, I will give you half an hour to think about it. If you still don't agree, I will leave immediately. Not anymore. You don't have to be so extreme. I'm not extreme, I'm telling the truth. Either let me be your girlfriend or a stranger, Wang Wei said. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Sci-fi Feng. Chapter 378. Lin Feng was in pain. Could it be that his long-term friendship with Wang Wei would end in this way? He never dreamed of such a scene before. This mansion made him happy, and this mansion also caused him trouble. I wonder if Monsieur had foreseen this in advance. But he will never set fire to the mansion, because this is his mansion, not to mention that if his mansion catches fire, the other houses in this building will catch fire, and he will be in prison. Lin Feng likes to live a peaceful life very much, making money in peace, enjoying the body of a beautiful woman in peace, but his life is sprinting with thrills and urgency, but Lin Feng still hopes that he will not be able to go to jail in his life, and whoever wants to go to jail will go to jail. He won't go anyway. Lin Feng even wanted to say to Wang Wei, "You don't have to give me half an hour to think about it, you can leave now," but he still hopes that in the next half an hour, Wang Wei's emotions can be eased, or he can think of more. Appropriate rhetoric will not cause too much damage to Wang Wei. 10 minutes passed, Lin Feng was very depressed, Wang Wei's face was gloomy, Lin Feng didn't even know what he thought in these 10 minutes. After more than 20 minutes passed, Lin Feng gave up and said, "Xiao Yi, there is a situation that I must tell you." "What's the situation?" "I always liked to eat your tofu before, but I didn't actually love you. It was just because you were beautiful and your figure was great, for example, your were huge, I would be impulsive when I saw you, I even thought about it before, you 100 times, and then dump you. This is a desire, nothing else," Lin Feng said. "Fuck her 100 times and dump her?" Lin Feng has only desire for her, no love at all. Wang Wei was sure that she heard correctly, her eyes were dull, but her body trembled, and after a while, her tears flowed down. "I thought you were a fake hooligan. But you are a real hooligan, I'm so sad. I'll ignore you in the future." Wang Wei walked out of the bedroom crying, walked out of Lin Feng's mansion crying, walked out of this high-end community crying. There are many rich people living in this community brought sweet laughter to many people, but it made Wang Wei cry. Maybe that's how it should be. Maybe this is an episode in life, maybe Lin Feng and Wang Wei are finished here, maybe there will be a new story. What Lin Feng said to Wang Wei just now was against his intentions. He hoped that Wang Wei could understand what kind of person he was after she passed this mental hurdle. It started to rain, but there was no thunder. The clouds merged softly and the rain was born without thunder and lightning. But Wang Wei was struck by lightning and thunder, and Lin Feng was hacked. Lin Feng saw it was raining from the large floor-to-ceiling glass windows in the living room of the mansion, and there was no umbrella by his side, but he still ran out. He was worried that Wang Wei would walk or sit in the rain all the time. There was no shadow of Wang Wei in the community. Lin Feng walked out of the community, and Wang Wei was not seen nearby. Lin Feng dialed her mobile phone, and the prompt was turned off. Lin Feng hoped that Wang Wei had already taken a taxi. Wang Wei has already taken a taxi, and the destination is her residence. She has been hit too hard, but she will not be short-sighted. She loves life, but she is really depressed. He used to appear in front of Lin Feng before. Wang Wei is very confident because she knows that Lin Feng likes her. Lin Feng not only has desire for her body, but even wants her to be his wife. But just now Lin Feng actually said that he only had desire for her body, and even thought about getting rid of her 100 times. Wang Weixin said, "Lin Feng, you bastard, you still want to me and dump me 100 times, I won't give you a chance, and I won't even make friends with you in the future. You are you, I am me, even if I meet you on the street, I don't even know you." Lin Feng took a taxi to Fengnan Fashion Store. During the summer vacation, there are many people in Beijing Normal University. Some are in school to fall in love, some are in school for studying, and some are more convenient when doing various part-time jobs. But the business of the shop was still a lot colder. At this time, Dainan was lying on the cashier with his head tilted, his red lips moving, as if he was chanting a spell to make the business of the shop better. Dinan looked at Lin Feng's face, her eyes were very warm, whether Lin Feng was depressed or happy, in her eyes, Lin Feng was very manly. Your beautiful classmate is gone. Go, I offended her, Lin Feng said. Why did you offend her? You kid wouldn't miss her, but as soon as your hand touched her panties, she started calling for help. Lin Feng interrupted Dinan's conjecture and said helplessly, she wanted me to do that, but I didn't have that, so I offended her. Lin Feng didn't want to say this to anyone, because it was his and Wang Wei's privacy, but if he didn't tell anyone, maybe he would get sick, because Wang Wei's relationship with him is very unusual. Wang Wei is with you has a very important place in the heart. Dinan is his beauty, and he thinks it's okay to talk to Dinan. Wang Wei wants you to, oh, I see, does she really want to be your girlfriend when she sees your mansion? It's too powerful. You mustn't let this kind of girl. She succeeded, this kind of girl can only share riches and honors and not share will and woe. Dinan's understanding of Wang Wei is biased. Lin Feng knows very well that Wang Wei is the kind of girl who can share wealth and patience with you once she gets together with you. But Lin Feng didn't want to explain in detail, just said, there is only one reason for me to reject Xiao Yi, because green bamboo has already appeared. Do you think King Zhu is better than Xiao Yi? You can say that. Actually, I don't measure it entirely based on looks. In terms of looks, King Zhu is naturally prettier than Xiao Yi and has a better figure, but that's not all I'm thinking about now. I really want to take care of King Zhu. I really want to spend a lifetime with her. If a man's head is burned out by love, it's like this, my head was burned out by love before, and it was repaired later, but now it's burned out again, Lin Feng said. Dinan was a little worried about Lin Feng's state, but she was still amused. She simply laughed twice, but her soft and graceful body swayed with spring waves. Not only do you think King Zhu is the best, but I also think she is the best. I believe even more that you and King Zhu have a future. King Zhu's body is clean, and King Zhu's heart is also clean, Dinan said. Anyway, there aren't many people buying things, so it's better to close the shutter in advance. Let's go, Lin Feng said. Dinan didn't say you should leave. I will hold on for a while. Lin Feng needs her comfort at this time. Even if there are many people buying things, she will close the roller shutters and let Lin Feng leave, not to mention that there are not many people buying things. Then go. Dinan closed the roller shutter and left with Lin Feng. The rain was still falling, but it was much smaller. Lin Feng and Dinan were using an umbrella. Just 10 steps out, Lin Feng hugged Dinan's waist. Dinan did not resist, and her graceful and hot body leaned towards Lin Feng again, and the two bodies moved forward. People who pass by and see them think they are a couple, but they are not a couple. After walking on the overpass, Lin Feng's footsteps stopped, so Dinan's footsteps also stopped. Dinan asked, "What happened to you?" Lin Feng said, "It's nothing, I just want to stand on the overpass and smoke a cigarette." "Come on." It was still the same umbrella. Lin Feng and Dinan were both under the umbrella. Lin Feng smoked and looked at the scenery. Dinan sometimes looked at the scenery and looked at Lin Feng's face. She found that Lin Feng was the brightest scenery in her life. When Lin Feng is by her side, she can ignore any other scenery around her. Dinan said, "What do you think King Zhu is doing?" Lin Feng said, "At this point, King Zhu should be accompanying her father. I haven't seen each other for a long time. There must be a lot to say." Dinan said, "Did you say it rained in Qiushan town, Shu province?" Lin Feng said, "I used my mobile phone to check the weather over there when I was in the taxi. Of course, I couldn't find the weather in that small place in Qiushan town. It shouldn't rain. It will collapse easily." Lin Feng hugged Dinan's waist and walked down the overpass with an umbrella. Dinan's round buttocks would occasionally touch Lin Feng's body. It was very soft and elastic. Dinan had seen Lin Feng's tall and straight, and gave it to Lin Feng with his mouth. Even when he was alone, Dinan often imagined Lin Feng's tall and straight. She didn't want to give her body to Lin Feng, for fear that their relationship would deteriorate, but Dinan had a lot of spring dreams related to Lin Feng. In those dreams, she and Lin Feng were wild. Lin Feng returned to the master bedroom, Dinan returned to the partition room, sat on the sofa. Lin Feng lit a cigarette, and began to think about the question that made him tangled: how can Dinan also live in his mansion? That mansion is comfortable and atmospheric, and you can experience a sense of superiority brought by a high-end life when you live in it. If you don't enjoy life in this world, even if you live to be 100 years old, it will be a loss. Lin Feng wants to enjoy life himself while also pulling enjoy with Dinan. More than half an hour has passed. Lin Feng turned on the computer and opened the pages of the book. His book has not been updated very quickly in the past 2 days, and the reader's response was very strong, and even some of his loyal readers began to question whether this book has encountered a bottleneck and can't write it anymore. After all, the space is already very long, and bottlenecks will appear at any time. At the same time, there are also many enthusiastic readers who are afraid that this book will end quickly, because people who are addicted always hope that the plot of this book can continue to be enriched. But Lin Feng's book is still very well written. The beauty editor-in-chief Wenqing is not sick and even wants him to write more than 8 million words before ending, but Lin Feng feels that it is too difficult to write more than 8 million words, but he wrote 600 words. More than 10,000 words is still very possible. There are still many plots that can be written, and they will be very exciting, which will bring one wave after another to the readers. Facing the reader's doubts, Lin Feng would like to send a few hundred words of explanation to tell his enthusiastic readers, this book will continue to write, and the plot will be wonderful. He did write such a description, which was about 600 words, but he changed his mind quickly, and instead of sending this description, he started to code. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 379. Although Wang Wei's mood was affected, the many comments from enthusiastic readers gave Lin Feng a lot of motivation. His typing speed was not slow, and he planned to type 10,000 words this night before going to bed. After more than an hour, Lin Feng wrote more than 4,000 words, and first sent a 3,000-word chapter, and then continued to code the remaining pages. After more than half an hour, Lin Feng sent another 3,000-word chapter. After being involved in the plot, Lin Feng's mood has calmed down a lot. He believes that no matter how bad the situation is, there will always be a solution. The cloud that suddenly appeared between him and Wang Wei will definitely dissipate, and it will be very good. Friend. When he heard the knock on the door, he knew it was Dinan. Lin Feng's mouth showed a light smile. Just now, he was wondering if Dinan would knock on his door. Dinan did not disappoint him. Walking over and opening the door, he saw Dinan in a purple night dress, and he could see traces of the bust and panties. The aroma of hotness once again stimulated his sensitive nerves. Come and see you. Bring it on. Lin Feng sat on the chair beside the computer desk. Dinan moved a chair and sat beside him, smiled and said, let me guess how many words you coded just now. If you guess right, there's a prize. More than 6,000, Dinan said. Exactly. Lin Feng kissed Dinan's beautiful face. Dinan's pink fist raised, seemingly very hard, but when her pink fist fell on Lin Feng's body, it was very light. You are so annoying. Your so-called reward is to eat my tofu. When I think about it, I really let you eat a lot of tofu before, but I don't want you to eat tofu in the future. You said, I am yours. The most beautiful girl, but can you cooperate? Don't eat your most beautiful girl's tofu in the future. Dinan's beautiful face was full of warmth, and her tone was soft. but Lin Feng could hear that she was serious. Seriously, it's difficult. Then you can overcome it and try not to be ambiguous all the time, Dinan said. I try my best. Lin Feng twisted against Dinan's graceful waist and started typing on the keyboard again. Dinan's heart was very wet and helpless, he said. You are so bad, you tried to eat my tofu as soon as you finished speaking, maybe this is destined, I will be eaten by you in my life and I can't be your girlfriend. With Dinan by his side, savoring her fragrance, Lin Feng's coding speed was faster than before. The 3,000 words were soon born. When Lin Feng checked the chapters, Dinan smiled and said, I really admire you, your thoughts are like a spring, and your inspiration will never be exhausted. With you, my inspiration will always be there, and if I feel like I'm running out of inspiration, just touch your soft a few times. The inspiration will come again. Less hate, Dinan said. Lin Feng posted another 3,000-word chapter, and the next chapter has more than 1,000 words, but he doesn't plan to continue, he plans to hug Dinan's tender body to find inspiration, and at this time, his chat the number flashed, and a friend added information. The net name of this netizen surprised both Lin Feng and Dinan, and it turned out to be Yang Chunbeixiu. Lin Feng's blood immediately boiled. He searched for so long and couldn't find Yang Chunbeixiu, but she actually appeared by herself. Hurry up, it's spring and snow, Dinan was also extremely excited. But at this time, Lin Feng had already figured out this question, and he smiled relievedly, this Yang Chunbeixiu may not be the Yang Chunbeixiu I really want to find. There are not many people who use Yang Chunbeixiu as their screen name. You thought that two different Yang Chunbeixiu would become your netizens one after another. I guess this is the previous one, Dinan said. Lin Feng also hopes so, if this is that. He doesn't have to keep looking. At the same time, he is also worried that the appearance of this bright spring and white snow is very joking. It is not that he has not encountered things before. Sometimes the joy really comes, and sometimes it is empty joy. Lin Feng agreed to the friend addition request. This Yang Chunbeixiu is his netizen. He clicked on the information and looked at it. It had nothing in common with the previous Yang Chunbeixiu. There was no useful content in the space and Weibo for him to refer to. The evaluation Lin Feng wanted to give this Yang Chunbeixiu was, the guy was lazy and left nothing. Lin Feng said, it's probably not the one before. You talk to her. Have to go now. Lin Feng hugged her, Dinan's towering chest touched his body, and the two fiery bodies touched a large area. Dinan wanted to push Lin Feng away but couldn't do it, so he could only entangle with him. The passionate kiss lasted almost 5 minutes, and this Yang Chunbeixiu sent a message to Lin Feng, but Lin Feng did not look at it immediately and continued to kiss Dinan. After the hot kiss, Dinan's pink fist hit Lin Feng again, and he tangled, if you do this again, I won't dare to come to your room. I'm not that scary. But you scared me, Dinan said. But I don't think I scare you. Lin Feng clicked on the message. It was an avatar with a bright smile. It was Yang Chunbeixiu who greeted him. Lin Feng couldn't be sure whether this Yang Chunbeixiu was the previous one, so the first message he sent was very important. After thinking for a moment, he said, is it you? Yang Chunbeixiu, we haven't talked before, your news seems a little inexplicable. Lin Feng, it's strange that you add me as a friend. Who are you? Are you my reader? Yang Chunbeixiu, I wasn't your reader before, but I've been reading your book recently. Your book's plot and writing are good. I like it very much. I have already subscribed to support you. Lin Feng reluctantly looked at Chao Dinan and said with a smile, did you see what happened? I didn't see it anyway, I guess he is one of my readers. If you continue chatting, you may see it. Dinan stared at the chat record just now, probably because the content was too small and there was no valuable information. Lin Feng, thank you for your support. Yang Chunbeixiu, What did you mean by the first message you sent me? Do you have a netizen with the same name as mine before? Lin Feng, let you be right, I used to have a netizen named Yang Chunbaixu, that woman is very important to me. Yang Chunbaixu, have you ever met her and played with her? Lin Feng, she has helped me a lot. Without her, my book would not have become popular so quickly, but I have never seen her or played with her, and I don't even know who she is. Yang Chunbaixu, can you tell me the story of you and the former Yang Chunbaixu? Lin Feng was a little depressed, lit a cigarette, and looked at Chao Dainan again. Do you think it is necessary for me to tell her? Dainan said, maybe this young woman is a lonely woman in the middle of the night. She is not even a loyal reader of yours. Maybe she just subscribed a few chapters of your book, or didn't subscribe at all. You don't need to tell her. Lin Feng sighed lightly and shook his head helplessly. He didn't intend to chat with this Yang Chunbaixu anymore. He closed the dialogue box and said with a smile, would you like to watch an exciting movie? American movie. A small piece of dongying, Lin Feng said. Fuck you, I don't want to watch that with you. If you watch it together, you have to gobble my tofu. Dainan's eyes are very warm, and her beautiful face is a little red. It's not shyness but desire. If you don't go out, then desire may turn into action. Dainan got up and smiled and said, I'm sleepy, I'm going to bed. You should go to bed soon too. After Dang Dainan left his room, Lin Feng clicked on Yang Chunbaixu's account again, and read the chat record 3 times. He was basically sure that this Yang Chunbaixu was not the one he used to be, but this Yang Chunbaixu who added him as a friend seemed to be very good. There is a mystery. Love his book so much you want to chat with him. I know him in my life, so I just read his book, so I want to chat. If this Yang Chunbaixu is also a woman, what kind of woman is she and what does she want to do? He couldn't think clearly, so he didn't think about it for the time being. Lin Feng has now learned to block certain kinds of thinking at critical moments to save brain cells. If Dainan is willing to accompany him to watch that kind of film, he is very interested, and if he watches it alone, forget it. Lin Feng turned off the computer, and as soon as he lay on the bed, his cell phone rang, and it was Hong Ying's call. Lin Feng smiled relievedly and picked it up, and said in a provocative tone, my lover, do you miss me again? Yeah, I miss you, do you miss me? Of course I do. What happened today made his mind very confused, so he didn't think about Hong Ying very much today, but if he said that he didn't think about it, Hong Ying would get angry. It is better to think about it. Come to see me. Where are you? Lin Feng said. Leaf's private villa. How about I'll find you tomorrow? I won't need it tonight, Lin Feng said with a smile. You bastard, you said that you missed me just now. I think you don't miss me at all. Is it because you have a beautiful woman by your side, so you don't care about me? You kid don't want to be on this night. Playing a one-night kiss. You have already dated a woman you have never met. You really want to develop unfamiliar territory this night, right? Hong Ying said angrily. Don't guess. Even the one-night kiss is mentioned. It's getting more and more outrageous. I'll just go find you. Okay, come quickly. The sooner you come, the more we can hug and sleep together for a while. Hong Ying almost feels like every second counts. She really wants to spend more time with Lin Feng before leaving Beijing to go to Bangkok, Thailand, but she has absolutely no intention of affecting Lin Feng's normal life. Lin Feng left the community, took a taxi and headed for Yezi's private villa. Not only the charming and hot appearance of Hong Ying, but also the charming and beautiful figure of Sister Wang flashed in his mind. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 380. When he lived in Yezi's villa before, he almost offended Sister Wang to the point of being tender on the outside and tender inside. He probably won't see Sister Wang this evening, and she should rest at this point. But tomorrow morning, he is very likely to see Sister Wang, and he doesn't know what to say when he sees that charming beauty. Or will the charming woman of Sister Wang sneer at him the moment she sees him? Sister Wang is a well-bred woman, and she probably won't taunt him violently the moment she sees him, and she'll probably ignore him. Lin Feng intends to be a little more proactive, because being a little proactive with a charming woman like Sister Wang will only benefit him and not harm him. What should he say to her? Did you say to her, "I'm sorry, it was my fault before"? It seems a little too earthy. Do you want to tease her again and use a moist method to make her smile sweetly? It is estimated that it is difficult to do it. If he displays a moist method, Sister Wang is very likely to be furious and complain to Yezi. Who knows if Yezi will go crazy. Will let him come to live for a while and won't even let him code. Lin Feng likes to be a guest at Yezi's private villa because it is luxurious and the fragrance lingers here, but he doesn't like to live here without coding. He was almost at Ye's private villa, and he couldn't think clearly about this issue. He thought that when he really saw Sister Wang, he would naturally know what to say, because at that time, what he said was what he said. Lin Feng got off the taxi near Yezi's private villa, and Hong Ying was already waiting for him outside the gate. The moment she saw Lin Feng, Hong Ying wanted to jump into his arms and kiss him warmly, rubbing Lin Feng's body with her towering chest. Hong Ying seems to be a little too enthusiastic, which shows that her desire is so strong. There is time to play ambiguous this night. She and Lin Feng will create an extraordinary wetness. Hong Ying temporarily controlled the wild impulse and smiled. The speed is not slow. There is no traffic jam on the road. Let's go in and come to Yezi's private villa again. I believe you will feel very special. In fact, this place has never been a nightmare for you, but an intoxicating dream. Hong Ying walked in first, and Lin Feng followed in Hong Ying's footsteps. If you compare his mansion with Yezi's private villa, there is a big gap. The money to build this villa can buy more than 10 sets of him. That duplex mansion. But Lin Feng is already very satisfied with the mansion he just bought. After he lived there, the quality of life was much higher than before. At the same time, Lin Feng also thought about whether it is possible for him to have a luxurious villa in Beijing in the future. Hong Ying said, "You can't always take a taxi. You are all people with luxury houses of tens of millions. If you always take a taxi in a high-end community, there will be a lot of rich people looking at you, and they will think, 'What's the matter, kid? He can afford a house in such a high-end community, but he doesn't even have a car.'" Lin Feng lit a cigarette and said with a smile, "They can look at me how they like. Anyway, I don't have a car. First of all, I'm not a rich man yet, and secondly, even if I am a rich man, I don't necessarily drive." Hong Ying said, "There are indeed some rich people in China who don't drive, but I believe that you like cars very much, based on your current income. Buying a similar car is not a problem. If you buy a car, if so, what brand are you going to buy?" Lin Feng said, "It is estimated that I will buy a Volvo off-road. I have a very good impression of the Volvo brand. It has good performance and high safety factor. It is my favorite." Lin Feng told several beauties that he liked Volvo. But he doesn't have a Volvo now, and he's seen many Volvos on the road. After a while on the soft bed, Red Shadow will temporarily become his Volvo, and he can slam on Red Shadow's accelerator. You can also slam the steering wheel of the Red Shadow, and drive the Red Shadow on the soft big bed, without thinking about the traffic lights, without worrying about the electronic eyes, even if it reaches the fastest speed. Went into the living room of the villa together, and did not see Sister Wang. Lin Feng also breathed a sigh of relief, and said in his heart, "Sister Wang, You should have fallen asleep at this time. I don't know if you are sleeping in a nightgown or naked. Lying on the bed, no matter how you lie on the bed, you will be very intoxicated. Maybe the soft big bed will become wet because of your graceful body. When you wake up in the morning, you will wonder if you wet the bed last night. After careful observation you will find that the water is flowing out, but it is not bedwetting. When we went to the second floor together, Lin Feng couldn't help but glance in that direction when he passed by the door of Sister Wang's bedroom, and said in his heart, "Sister Wang, don't come out suddenly, if you only wear a pair of trousers and come out. Or if I walked out naked, I would be embarrassed." An ambiguous smile appeared at the corner of Hong Ying's mouth. "Do you still want to tease Sister Wang this night? If you really want to, then go to the study. Sister Wang is reading in the study." Lin Feng was a little surprised and said with a smile, "I didn't intend to tease her. Oh, it's so late, why is she still reading? I guess she can't sleep." Sister Wang is a divorced woman. Her body is so hot and moist. She usually doesn't even have a man. When she's lonely, she can't help but feel uncomfortable. The way to relieve loneliness is now. Sister Wang doesn't like to find wild men, she is used to reading books to relieve loneliness. Although Sister Wang has a bad impression of me, in my heart, she is a very good woman, Lin Feng said. If Sister Wang hears what you just said, maybe she will be moved, but you better not do anything to Sister Wang with sympathy, it is estimated that she will not appreciate it. You can easily anger Sister Wang, and if you are irritated again she will complain to Yezi. God knows what hype will be used to fix you. What is certain is that Yezi and Sister Wang have a very good relationship, and she cares about Sister Wang's feelings very much, Hong Ying said. They entered the bedroom together. When Lin Feng sat on the sofa and smoked, the body of Hong Ying Grace twisted in front of him, very graceful and hot. Hong Ying took off her clothes while dancing, and a large area of her lustrous skin was exposed in front of Lin Feng, and her lines were extremely beautiful. The chest photo was taken off and thrown aside. The towering chest was gently rippling in front of Lin Feng. The slender legs were twisting and were slightly deformed, but her wetness was not exposed. After skipping the striptease, the red shadow's lustrous skin was exposed in front of Lin Feng. "Come on, my man. Your mood makes me want to eat you, even the bones of your belt." Lin Feng picked up Hong Ying and rolled onto the bed together. During the hot kiss, he tore off Hong Ying's trousers and forced his way into her body. At this moment, Hong Ying became Lin Feng's Volvo, and soon, this Volvo of the Hot Beauty series made an ecstasy cry. "Oh, I rely on. Take it easy, are you there or are you trying to kill me? If I want to kill you in bed, it will not be easy, because your body is very good." Lin Feng exerted force on Hong Ying's body at a fast pace, and Hong Ying made a happy cry in the shock. Waves of pleasure hit, Hong Ying shouted, "Lin Feng, my lover, I like you so much." After the enthusiasm, the soft big bed was wet, and judging from the messiness, it was indeed very intense just now. Touching Lin Feng's chest, Hong Ying smiled charmingly, "If I leave you one day, will you miss me?" "Will do. I also hope that you will miss me. If you just forget me like that, wouldn't I just make you comfortable?" Hong Ying said. Lin Feng began to pretend to be confused, and asked in confusion, "Hong Ying, what did you mean just now?" "It doesn't mean anything else, it's just that I was very enthusiastic just now. I said it casually. Oh, go to sleep, I will be a female knight when I score twice in the morning." Hong Ying smiled and closed her eyes. She felt that Lin Feng should. I don't know that she will leave the city in the summer of next year. In fact, Lin Feng already knows. Lin Feng didn't have any randomness for the time being. He lit a cigarette and started smoking. What reverberated in his mind was the warm scene he and Hong Ying had just now, which was very enjoyable and wonderful. Hong Ying is a superb lover, Hong Ying makes him very comfortable, and the wildness from the best lover makes him ecstasy. Hong Ying fell asleep, her breathing was well proportioned, and there was a sweet smile on the corner of her mouth, probably because the enthusiasm just now was so pleasant, and this kind of happiness gave her a great enjoyment both physically and mentally. Lin Feng can not only smell the strong aroma, but even smell a very moist breath. This moist breath can be roughly divided into two parts, one part was created by him and Hong Ying just now, and the other part is from Hong Ying. Emitted from the body. The humidity keeps the hormone concentration in this room high, and the humidity makes it difficult for Lin Feng to calm down. He has the ability to score twice at any time, but he does not want to affect Hong Ying's sleep. After more than an hour, Lin Feng gradually fell asleep. When the morning came, Lin Feng, who was sleeping, felt a soft hand caressing his lower abdomen. He actually called out, "King Zhu, is that you?" Clap clap clap. It was King Zhu who shouted out instead of her. Hong Ying's slap hit Lin Feng's stomach very hard. Lin Feng jumped up and woke up instantly. "You're crazy, what are you beating me for? Even if you want to remind me to wake up and be with you, you should be gentle. You lied and slept with me, but you just called out another woman's name, which made me angry." "Who am I calling?" Lin Feng wondered. "Green bamboo." Oh. Lin Feng remembered his dream again. He dreamed of Qiushan town in Shu province again, a bamboo forest, and a beautiful and pure Tian Qingzhu. He had never been there before, but in his dream, that kind of the scenery with the natural style is very real. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read. Peach Youth. Author, Su Kifeng. Chapter 381. It seems that you really love King Zhu, that beautiful and pure school flower has taken your soul away. Don't get me wrong, I didn't beat you in the stomach just now because I was jealous, I just thought you shouldn't be sleeping with me. When you call out another woman's name, I won't affect the love between you and King Zhu, but you, a lover, should have a little bit of bed morals." Hong Ying mentioned bed morals. Lin Feng believes that the morality of the bed that Hong Ying refers to is to think of her when sleeping with her. Lin Feng originally thought that Hong Ying was not in the mood to score twice, but when Hong Ying's slender legs stepped on him and twisted wildly, he knew that Hong Ying was still in a good mood. "Wet together. Have fun together. We spent a long time tossing together on the big soft bed." When Lin Feng and Hong Ying went downstairs together, Sister Wang had already made breakfast and was sitting on the sofa in the living room watching TV. Her face was calm, and her eyes ignored Lin Feng. Sister Wang smiled and said, "Hong Ying, make it early, shall we have breakfast?" "Okay." Hong Ying smiled and gave Lin Feng a wink. The three of them walked into the restaurant together and sat on the chairs. Sister Wang finally couldn't help but said, "Although it was 3 people earlier, I really don't want to let some hateful guy eat breakfast until I make it." Lin Feng was very embarrassed. He put down the chopsticks he just grabbed in his hand, and smiled relievedly, "Then you two eat, I'm leaving." Hong Ying grabbed Lin Feng's hand and said with a smile, "Sister Wang is joking, are you serious?" Lin Feng looked at Sister Wang's face and sighed, "I don't think Sister Wang is joking, she is serious." Seeing Lin Feng stand up, Sister Wang said, "Just think I'm joking, no matter what, you and Hong Ying are lovers. For Hong Ying's face, I will also give you some face." Lin Feng didn't think about leaving like this, if he really went like this. Then the conflict between him and Sister Wang deepened. There was no harm in being open-minded at this time. Lin Feng sat down and had breakfast with Hong Ying and Sister Wang. The nutrition is reasonable and delicious. If he ate with Dainan, his speed would be very fast, but with Hong Ying and Sister Wang, he didn't make his speed faster, and he didn't make any noise that he shouldn't have. In college, Lin Feng had a classmate. No matter who they are eating with, they will make a loud noise, as if they are not eating but performing ventriloquism. Once Lin Feng invited him to eat noodles, he made a very strange noise. Lin Feng finally reminded him, but Lin Feng was surprised. He says, "The custom in our hometown is that if someone invites you to dinner, you must make a special noise, which means that eating deliciously is a respect for the invited guests." At that time, Lin Feng said, "Thank you for your respect for me, but this is not your home. We have a good relationship, so I bluntly remind you." He said, "I'm not angry, I won't make such a loud noise when I eat in the future." After that, the appearance of that classmate when he was eating changed a lot, but Lin Feng's appearance when he was eating by himself didn't change. What Lin Feng didn't expect was that Hong Ying and Sister Wang were talking about the Hengtu Company. It even involved specific business, of course, and did not reveal any business secrets. If Sister Wang is not very interested in the business of Hengtu Company, Ye and Hong Ying will not often mention Hengtu Company when chatting with Sister Wang, so why does Sister Wang pay attention to the business of Hengtu Company? Was she an employee of Hengtu Company before, or did she have some kind of entanglement with Ye Chen? Sister Wang was divorced, but it was definitely not divorced from Ye Chen, Lin Feng felt. The reason why Sister Wang is very concerned about the business of Hengtu Company is more likely because she used to be an employee of Hengtu Company, and she is a very good backbone. For some very special reason, she left Hengtu Company and started her career in Ye Zi's private villa. Babysitter. What is the reason? Unless Sister Wang said it herself, he would not be able to understand, because neither Ye nor Hong Ying wanted to talk to him about Sister Wang. Sister Wang is very mysterious. Lin Feng was full of curiosity about this charming woman. Just after breakfast, Hong Ying left after receiving a call from Ye Zi, and let Lin Feng do what he wanted when he went out. Lin Feng was a little hesitant, should he leave immediately, or should he stay with Sister Wang for a while? Sister Wang is a very lonely woman and needs someone to accompany her. Bring a lot of happiness. He is the opposite of Sister Wang, and his body structure is opposite to that of Sister Wang, but he doesn't get along well with Sister Wang. But I don't think I can talk to him. Sitting on the sofa in the living room, Sister Wang casually watched TV. Her mood was not on the TV show at all. She didn't watch Lin Feng. The red lips moved and she made a very leisurely voice, "Your lover Hong Ying has left here, why don't you leave?" "I was called by her, but if she doesn't leave, I will leave." Lin Feng lit a cigarette, and after exhaling a puff of smoke, the nicotine began to stimulate his nerves, and he looked at Sister Wang's beautiful face. He saw beauty. He saw charm. But he couldn't understand the story of this woman. Lin Feng said, "No matter what I did or said to you before, I was joking. I didn't expect you to be so angry. I haven't been able to forgive me until now, Sister Wang, I'm sorry." "Are you kidding me?" So, Lin Feng was joking by touching her breasts, and he was also joking by saying that he gave her panties. Although she heard Lin Feng's apology, Sister Wang's heart felt warm, but she still showed a look of anger. "Are you joking like this? You are such a nuisance." Sister Wang not only said that he was a small thing, but also said that he was very annoying, but he couldn't tell Sister Wang, "My things are not small at all, if you don't believe me, take a look." Lin Feng didn't know what to say. He was embarrassed again, and the atmosphere was even a little nervous. He didn't know whether it was right to stay and try to resolve the conflict with Sister Wang. Perhaps this conflict should be resolved by time. A few minutes later, Sister Wang finally said, "I will forgive you because you are still a child. I don't care about what you have done or said to me before." Lin Feng finally breathed a sigh of relief and said with a smile, "Sister Wang, thank you for your forgiveness, but I am no longer a child. Is it possible that in your eyes, a man who has begun to mix in the city, a man who even has a lover, is a child? Is it because you started living in the city and made small achievements? Is it because you have such a beautiful and hot lover as Hong Ying, Are you not a child in my eyes? You are 10 years younger than me, I have experienced you haven't experienced a lot of things you've ever lived, and you haven't seen many of the people I've met, so in my eyes, you're just a child, Sister Wang said. Lin Feng had calmed down just now, but Sister Wang's rhetoric made him excited again, and he actually embraced Sister Wang in his arms. When the two hot bodies touched, Sister Wang looked at Lin Feng's face from a close distance. Good boy, you apologized to me just now, and you started eating my tofu in less than 5 minutes. If you don't let me go within the clock, I'll call Ye Zi. Lin Feng let go of Sister Wang, but this charming woman began to pant, as if Lin Feng not only hugged her, but also made very violent movements towards her. 10 minutes passed, Lin Feng and Sister Wang were very quiet. This charming woman did not mean to call Ye Zi. Lin Feng got up and said, I'll go first. Play a few games of chess with me. Although you are a stinky chess basket, I am a little bored now. As long as you are not afraid that my chess moves are too stinky, then I will play a few games with you, Lin Feng said. Drinking tea and playing chess together, the atmosphere became much more harmonious. While playing chess, Lin Feng also admired the beauty and charm of Sister Wang. This woman's face is so beautiful, this woman's are so full, this woman's legs are so slender, and this woman's there is a kind of charm that can make men charmed. You lost miserably in the first game. I almost killed all the pieces. You have no pressure at all. Can you be careful? I'm very attentive, but I just can't win against you. It's actually normal. If you let a stinky chess basket like me win, what are you doing? Lin Feng said with a smile. Sister Wang smiled relievedly. She was reminding Lin Feng just now, don't patronize Lian, we are playing chess, but Lin Feng said this to her. You're kind of cute. You didn't find my maturity and stability, Lin Feng said. No. But many people have discovered it, Lin Feng said. They are them, I am me, and in my eyes, you are a lovely child. Then you love me, Lin Feng said. You're not my child, call me mom, and I will love you. Mom. Without any pressure, Lin Feng called Sister Wang mom with a sweet and sincere voice. Sister Wang was about to collapse immediately, and looked at Lin Feng's face in surprise. What are you calling a bastard? Who is your mother? You asked me to call me mother. I told you to eat shit, so do you, Sister Wang said angrily. Lin Feng's temper finally came, and he said in his heart, you seem to be going too far, look at me if I don't fix you. Seeing Lin Feng stand up, Sister Wang was a little flustered. If Lin Feng, a kung fu master, hit her, she wouldn't even have the ability to parry. In desperation, Sister Wang grabbed 2 chess pieces and planned to attack Lin Feng as a weapon. Don't mess around with you, kid, you bully me and let Ye Zi know, and she will fix you. At the critical moment, Sister Wang moved the leaves out again, but Lin Feng didn't seem to hear it. He hugged her soft body, and his mouth turned towards her rosy lips. To be continued. If you like this work, you are welcome to come to the starting point, to vote for recommendation and monthly tickets. Your support is my biggest motivation. Mobile users, please go to to read.